All right, well, let's talk about business. So let's do a quick check-in with you ladies and let's find out how you're doing. So let's just do a general check-in. Rachel, why don't you kick us off?
I'm better this week. I enjoyed some time off for Labor Day and have lowered my stress levels a bit. And something that was concerning me, I've just kind of said, you know what, this is not worth my health, and have just let it go. So still need to like actually get moving on stuff for me, but at least I'm less stressed than last Friday or 2 Fridays ago. So
Good, good, good. Very good. Catherine.
Well, I submitted the video on the update on what's going on, and I actually met with my sister for lunch today. Unfortunately, the environment was not good. At Rick's Boathouse, you can't hear yourself talk. If you have a conversation, I'm not getting into what I need to talk to her about. So we did some small talk, and I can tell that she's pretty much in fear of the pandemic. I mean, they have a house in Arizona, and I just assumed they were coming back for Thanksgiving. And she's like, we are not coming back for Thanksgiving or Christmas. I mean, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse. I mean, and I'm thinking, okay, fine, I'm not even going to discuss this. So it's like she's just, caught up in the fear that the world is caught up in. And, we caught up a little bit on some family things that I didn't. Unfortunately, my mom's estate is kind of in limbo right now. The attorney is dragging his heels. She wants to get it done before she leaves at the end of October, and I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, and I'm also working on this big event for not really the Holistic Hub, but it's we're calling ourselves now the community, let's see, what is it? Conscious community collaboration or whatever. And it's based on, Is Your Story Making You Sick? I'm the next presenter, so I met with my co-partner today to hash out some things. And we're trying to come up with an image for the Eventbrite or the whole thing, and pretty much set. So that's going on. I worked on my story of origin this week, which is good. Like I said, it's keeping, in fact, she says, what you been doing? And it's like, trying to explain to her what I'm doing, it's like, forget it. This is not working. So anyway, I really, the next time we meet, and I hope we can meet one more time before she leaves, I want to pick a whole different atmosphere, because I don't want to have to shout to have a conversation. That's not conducive. So anyway, that's what I'm doing.
Thank you for sharing all that. Lucy.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Great. How are you?
How is your tea, Angie?
It's very awesome.
Well, things over here at the BIP are getting busy. We have a lot of events coming up. We have our wedding, so we are very excited about that. Wow. Soon you're gonna see a lot of pictures on Instagram and social media, so be in touch. And we are doing great here, even though there is still, fear about the pandemic and all those kind of things. We are taking the right measures to make everybody feel safe. So that's why people are starting to come more to the BIP.
So Lucy, let's see, is this your second or third week?
I don't remember. It feels like
It's your third week.
Is it?
Yeah, third week at the VIP Center.
Yeah, we did the art thing, what, two Fridays ago? Was that Okay.
Yeah.
It's almost a month here.
Oh, that's right. That's right. All right. So, Dee Dee, what's going on with you?
So I feel like I've kind of pivoted, I guess, like in the last 2 months, which is okay. I've let go and started to just say yes. So I actually wrapped up these diversity workshops that a friend of mine were doing for a not-for-profit in New York. And then I'm currently I'm a presenter on a retreat that's coming up next Saturday for the AKAs, which is a Black sorority in Cincinnati. It's their fall retreat. So I'm doing a modified vision board and coaching session that I'm super excited about. They already have 75 women confirmed, so it's going to be on Zoom. And so what I'm doing now, I'm mapping out a post experience, like 1-day strategy session that I'm then going to use as a feeder pool for a fourth quarter Goal Friends coaching and accountability group.
Yay!
So thank you. So I'm super excited. Just working on things. I honestly feel like for me, kind of like April to, I'm going to say probably end of May, I literally was kind of going through body, mind, and soul cleansing, healing, reshifting. I had to do a lot of mindset work and praying and journaling to get to this point where I'm like, yes, this is what I'm doing. God's got me. And stuff is just like falling in my lap.
Yeah.
I had an interview last week for, so I'm praying to potentially be an executive coach contract for the University of California. So they're possibly willing to experiment with having someone that's remote, because everybody's remote now, because most of their executive coaches are in California. I'm waiting to possibly hear back on some coaching things, contract from Korn Ferry that could happen later in the year. And then what I'm still kind of working on as these things have come along is like my niche, which is still focusing on, HR people, but that's kind of on the back burner as like some of this other things that are coming through that are paid. So I'm excited. So it's funny because a lot of the things that we're talking about, it's stemming ideas for me for the stuff that's falling in my lap, and then the things that I'm going to work on. So I'm just being prayerful. I'm just saying yes to the things that I'm truly aligned with, and just completely trusting God with this journey.
Yeah. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That is awesome. Love, love, love to hear that you're making progress and moving along.
Yes.
That's great.
All right. And I loved doing, for those of you who came to the VIP art party, I had a lot of fun with you. So you got your, Katie's gonna show hers. There's her gal. Oh, love her, love her. Love her. I feel connected because I made your lips for you.
You did, and my hair. Oh yeah, she's in my office with me. She's here. She's here.
Hmm.
You got to figure out a way to get those like to be remote too. Like, you sign up early enough that you can ship the supplies.
I thought about that. It'd be a lot more expensive for the ones who are remote though, because just because of the shipping and all of that. But I have thought about, I'm still noodling on that, how to make that work. And so anyway, hold that thought. Hold that thought. I know you would love to be able to do that, Rachel, but my position is that you should come and stay Airbnb at the VIP Center for our next VIP art party, which is in November.
Mm-hmm.
And give yourself a treat that way.
I might take you up on that.
Where are you, Rachel?
Pennsylvania.
Oh wow.
Lucy, I loved your lady that you did. That was just amazing what she did.
Oh,
I loved
you.
everybody, and I think that's
Everybody was
the cool thing about it, just seeing everybody's creativity and what they came up with and how they just did it, and it was just, I loved it.
It was interesting. It really was.
Ladies, before I forget, I do. We're gonna jump into our topic here in just a moment, but I do want to remind you that we've got Women's Coaching Circle next Thursday. So even if you are a member, I do want you to sign up for that. We do have a guest speaker coming in, Catherine Kuhn, who is awesome and just refreshing. She's a certified life coach. She started out in the HR consulting space, and she's really shifted full time into life coaching, but I love the title of what she's going to be talking about, you know, how to just be happy. And so she's going to be here next Thursday. So if you want to attend that, we've got it on the private community. I think that the circle's listed on the private community, listed on the website also, and it will be coming out this weekend on the in our newsletter. So just be mindful of that. That's next Thursday from 6 to 7:30, and we're doing that virtually and in person.
I was gonna. So is she gonna actually be at the VIP center?
She's going to be at the VIP center, so I would love it if you could come and be in person.
Okay.
We will practice social distancing. Somebody is calling our teleconference line right now. They're
And
trying.
It sounded like
is that an extra cost for members or?
Members, it's free for members.
Okay.
Catherine, you're in my Ready, Set, Succeed, so you get that at no cost.
I thought.
All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. So today we're talking about creating the right message for your Facebook graphics. So you've heard me say this before, but it really is true. Connection trumps content. Connection trumps content. And so that even applies to any social media posts that we are creating, that, you know, to put on Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. People are still looking for connection. And so when we're creating our graphics, we want to have that message that actually connects with people. So we're going to talk about that today. I want to share with you the 5 mistakes that we typically make, or you see people making when they're creating copy or messaging on your social media graphics. And I also want to give you some basics. I'm going to show you some graphics, and I want you to tell me the pros and cons of that graphic. So we'll just get used to, first of all, just being aware of what some of the mistakes are and what to do right. And then we'll work on, you know, how to make it, you know, how to really make it, how to maximize your messaging on your Facebook graphics. And when I say graphics, these are things that you can create in Canva, which we've talked about before. You will notice that when you go into Canva, you see them creating all kinds of graphic templates. Well, even though they're creating all of those templates, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are optimized for your group. So we'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But for now, I want to ask you all a question. And here's the question. What is the most impactful Facebook graphic or message that you have seen that comes to mind?
About traveling.
Traveling?
Yeah, like seaplanes and, you know, like going to your dream city and relax, shopping, drinks with friends.
Yeah. Okay. Someone else.
Well, for me, I get these graphics from Sedona Facebook page, and they're very spiritual, and they've got a beautiful background to them, and just very inspiring message. And I share it on my business page, and you know, in fact, I want to try to do that on a daily basis, but I forget. But it's like that is the most impactful ones for me, because it just hits my spiritual side, and it just lifts me, and it's just got it's usually a beautiful photo to begin with. So, you know, that's what I find the most impactful.
All right. Thanks.
I don't know that I remember any that are really impactful. I think the ones that annoy me are when they have their content doesn't match up with their trailer or with their header. You're like, and you read the article and you're like, that wasn't what this was about at all, you know. So the falsity of it is what sticks with me. So I guess in one way it works, but it works not on a level of integrity.
Right. So they draw you in with a really seductive kind of picture, and then it kills the trust when it's like, hey, buy these 5 magazines now, or
Yeah, something like that.
okay.
I think for me, I think it's a combination of what Catherine and Maria have said. It's Maria, right? Is it Maria?
Lucy.
Look, why did I get? Because I'm looking at you. Sorry, Lucy.
It says Marluz, and
Oh,
Lucy comes from Marlucy.
I know now, Lucy. 'Cause now I'm thinking of I love Lucy, but okay, which I do love you, Lucy.
I love
And so for me, I think it's a combination of things, travel and spiritual, and it's usually just a good graphic and just some type of simple context where the context and the words really resonate with me, because I feel like in this day and age of social media, and I guess now I'm like getting all this sponsor ads from all these coaches, and they're like $1 million, but really it's the ones that have like a graphic and it's like, do you get stressed? And I'm like,
Yeah.
or right, or just something about authenticity. I don't know, something where it's the graphic that really gets me in, and then just kind of basic authentic content that I'm typically resonating with at that time.
Yeah, and so that's a great lead in for what you just said, because in order to understand marketing, we need to understand that people process everything visually first. So even before they see your words, they see the picture, and they're doing this mental check to say, does that picture resonate with me? And if that picture does not capture their attention and click with them, then they're going to keep scrolling. So then, typically, when I talk to people about presenting or anything that's visually related, there's your visual, vocal, and verbal outputs. Well, you can't hear the vocal tone, but the picture creates an emotion in you. And so you look next to the words to see, you're first looking to see, do these words align with this picture? And then our minds are saying, okay, now do these words have meaning to me? So it's all about creating a sense of trust, to Rachel's point, but it's also, and it's really about seeing that alignment, but it's very much about simplicity too, and appealing to the person's emotion. So there are 5 key mistakes that you typically see when people are creating their copy and their messaging on their social media graphics. I know before we focused a lot on graphics and pictures. The words and graphics go together, but I'm going to try my best to really just focus on the words today. But the top 5 mistakes that we see is, number 1, this is on your worksheet, too much text. Too much text. So I know, and I see people making this mistake every single day. They put so much text on it that some of it is unreadable. And then it's, even the kind of text, I don't have this on my top 5, but the kind of text that they use can make it really difficult to read. So if you do a lot of cursive fonts, you have to be really careful with those fonts, because it makes a person look harder, and if they have to work at it, they're not gonna stick around. They're gonna keep scrolling. So
Is there a font that you recommend using on a regular basis?
yeah, well, I do recommend that you find a font that helps, that you use consistently for your brand. So some examples might be like Montserrat font. There is Roboto is a good font. Now, here's what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use any cursive fonts, but you just want to use it sparingly, like it's an accent. All right, so you really, like if you have just like one word that you want to put in cursive, but everything else is in more of a block lettering that's clear. Okay, so second mistake that I see being made is no text at all. So you can have a picture and nothing on it, and people, they're gonna look at it like, oh, that's a nice picture. And they're, you know, unless it's a really dramatic picture, like of a picture of someone naked, you know, that's always gonna catch people's attention. But, you know, if they don't have any, there's no hook there, then they're gonna keep scrolling. Now, there's an exception to this, and that is when you are doing paid Facebook ads. That is a different story because they put a lot of extra, they have a certain format that they use, and the copy that you have on there, it's placed strategically kind of like down at the bottom of that ad. But we're talking about organic social media that you might post yourself, that you're doing for free, and you're posting graphics on Instagram or Facebook. Okay, third mistake, creating only one message. So just, you can have one graphic, but remember you're really always in test mode. And so you're going to need more than one message because you're dealing with different personalities. How many of you are familiar with like DISC or MBTI? Think about all those different personalities out there that have different preferences. You have some people who they're more action oriented, they're bottom line. Then you have other people who are much more detail oriented, so they want to know all the details. Then you've got your other people who are more, they like flashy and bright and shiny things. And then you have your other people who are more emotional and relationship oriented, and they want to see people and, you know, things related to people. So you're trying to appeal to all of those different kinds of people, even though you have a target audience. Number 4 mistake, your message does not match with the graphic. To Rachel's point, it doesn't align. And even the message that's on the graphic, I'll show you an example of what that might look like. Okay, number 5 mistake. Text is buried in the graphic and can't be clearly seen. So this happens more than we would think that it would. People will they'll try to get their text on there and they try to plop it over a really busy graphic and it just can't be clearly seen. So you got to make it really clear and simple for people to read. Okay. I'm quickly going to go over some of the copy and messaging basics for you, and then we're going to look at some graphics. Well, before we do that, let me check in with you. So of all of those 5 mistakes, which one do you see being made the most on social media?
Too much text.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know for me, because I'm a detail-oriented person, it would be really easy for me to want to give all the details right on top of that text. So number 1 and number 5, text is buried. Yeah. I could really see myself doing that. Yeah. Without even knowing it was wrong.
Right. Okay. Any other mistakes that you see happening a lot?
Probably creating only one message.
Mm-hmm.
And probably just creating one message and continuously just sending that one out. And I think I'm really just thinking about all the stuff we learned last week with copy and
Yeah.
how the follow-up messages should look like. So, yeah.
Yeah, and if we think about the follow-up messages, the emails that you had, all of those have different angles in writing. Well, it's the same thing with your messaging and your graphics for social media. You want to have different angles that you're approaching things. All right, so quick basics here. Number one, keep it simple. And try not to go over 7 words.
Wow, that's a lot. Like, I'm thinking 30, 100 maybe, and she's 7. I'm like, okay.
No, this is on the graphic.
Okay.
Not in the body. This is only on top of the graphic, okay?
Headline, yeah, okay.
Try not to go over 7 words. Number 2, eliminate filler words as much as possible, like and, so, or. You want to try to shorten it and just make it short and sweet. Okay, number 3 is create different messages to reach different audiences. Now this can be, I usually like to go with 3 different ones. It just depends on your audience. So like I have an event, we have an event that's coming up. It's called Shop VIP. So we've got some different audiences that we got to reach out to. We got to reach out to sponsors, we got to reach out to vendors, and we got to reach out to women who want to shop. So we got 3 different audiences there. So we need to have some different messages that appeal to all 3 of those audiences. Okay, number 4 on copy and message basics, treat visibility posts different than events, because and events typically have more copy on them.
What's a visibility post?
A visibility post is something where you're just putting social media out there to let people know that you exist.
Okay.
It's like you might, for your business, you might put something out for your business. It might be a quote.
Okay.
Or, it might be a question that you're posing, and you're really just staying active with social media versus an event where you want people to come to it. And as a business owner, you really should be creating both kinds of posts. You should have something that's out there, consistent, and letting people know, hey, I'm a business owner, just want you to know that I'm here. Your little logo's down in the corner, and maybe your website or your email address, but then you've got this other message going on in the body of it. Okay. Okie dokie. So before I go to message angles, I'm gonna show you some graphics here. All right. I'm doing this because I'm thinking about shopping and Christmas.
Already?
Well, it's because I've had to be working on graphics for the Coffee and Chocolate Expo and Shop VIP.
Oh, okay.
All right, we are sharing. Okay, let's take a look at this first graphic here. Can everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's give an assessment of this. Are there mistakes that are being made here?
There's no graphic.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. There's no graphic, really.
Okay, you're missing the graphic. What else?
I mean, now that I'm going through this, I might say there's a lot of text, but had I not went through this 10 minutes ago, I would have probably been okay with the text.
I'm right there with you.
I'm just being honest.
Right, this is a lot of text, and it's so much text. This is where we have to think about there's so many things to think about with marketing, but you only have 10% of your overall population that are auditory learners that actually like the detail and all the reading and would actually stop to read all of this. Only 10%. And so that 10% that's cut down by people who are feeling stressed and in a hurry, you know. So really, you could just say really probably about 5% of auditory learners that saw this and was interested in this would see this.
Well, the thing that caught my eye is that the shop and the VIP are two different sizes, and that's visually jarring to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought, well, maybe that's on purpose to get your attention, but I'm like,
No, I just wasn't caring. I really wanted to hit on the mistake of putting too much text on there. Okay. All right, so here's the next one.
I have a question really quick.
Yep.
So, if you wanted to, like the email address and the tickets, the link for the tickets, can't you, if you wanted to, just make those actually links so people can click on, and then that would like leave more room?
Yeah, so you don't even have to put it on this graphic though.
Yeah.
And so here's another marketing hack that you need to be aware of if you're not aware of it already. If you're doing an event and you are doing it outside of Facebook's event segment, you know, where you click on the event button and create an event. If you're just doing it on your like, hey, come to my event, here's the link, you're not going to have very many people to see that because you're leading people outside of Facebook, and Facebook doesn't like that. So what you need to do is put all your messaging and copying in on the line, you know, in the body, and then post it, and then come back in and say, here's the link to the event, like you're commenting.
Okay.
Because when you do that, then more people are guaranteed to see it because
They got to even click more.
well, it's let me see if I can find an example here. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to search for that. I don't want to take away from, we got a limited amount of time, but what I will say is if you put the link in the comments instead of in the body where the rest of your copy is, more people are going to see it. They'll see your link. The link should, if you've got a registration link, another little picture will pop up. But in your copy, you're going to want to say, click the link below in the comments to register.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go on to this one.
No text.
No text.
No text, but I definitely want in. So that's a good graphic. I'm curious. I want to know what's in the bag. They're happy. They're smiling.
So this might be a good picture for a Facebook ad if you're doing a paid ad, because you can add all of your extras in it. But there's another problem with this ad. There's not diversity.
you know, I was just gonna say that, and I thought, I don't know that that's what she's trying to get at, but I was just thinking it's 3 white women, you know, it's.
Yeah. So even though there's no text, it's sending a message. Like, hey, this is for white, skinny women with great teeth, you know.
And good tans. They just got a tan. So I think they got off a cruise ship. They're shopping.
Right, but see, even we're not putting words on there, and so you're leaving people to their own assumptions about what's happening at the event. Okay, let's go on to the next one.
I don't even believe you would ever even put anything out there like this, first of all.
No, I made these up for you.
I think this is gonna cut more male attention than female.
This is actually shaming me. I did work out this morning, but like I do want my tummy to look like that if I'm being honest. So
Ah,
Okay, so let's think about our mistakes. What else is wrong with this picture once you get beyond the picture?
The
there's
text is buried.
no text.
Well, I mean, and the text is buried. I mean, she's got this really busy top. You're distracted by, I mean, the first thing, like, there's her belly button, right? You know, so the graphic is distracting.
well, and I don't know what Shop VIP is really for. Is it for her? Or is it
Didn't tell me anything.
for what's in the back? I don't know what we're shopping for.
Yeah. Well, where is she looking?
Just looking up.
Yeah. So even if you were going to have this graphic,
Oh, I see. The graphic doesn't fit.
you'd at least want to have some of your words up here where she's looking at it, because they're going to look where she's looking after they get over the belly button.
Yeah, where's the diamond stud for the belly button?
Don't tempt me to find one. Okay, here's another one.
Now that one uses the Z pattern we talked about.
So look, do you see me squinting already to read the Shop VIP Center? I just naturally did it. So that's kind of small. I think the VIP Center, it probably could be bigger. I mean, the box is a pretty nice size.
Yeah.
The graphic makes it look like it's just for clothing though.
But
Yeah.
see, why is the hanger there? That just really bothers me.
The hanger.
Yeah, and it's like, what's the hanger doing? That does nothing for me. In fact, I mean, the lady in the bottom is kind of pale and paled out. It's almost like not clear. I mean, I would not like that entire thing, really.
Yeah, so if you look at this graphic, it does not connect. It does not make sense. You've got this lady over here looking off into the water. So, and then there's not really a true representation of what this event is about. You don't know what the event is about. And so that's one thing that I want to caution you about when you are using the templates that Canva creates. You'll have them just putting random things together, and you think, oh, well, that's, those boxes are really nice, but your messaging really has to align with whatever's happening in the box. So if you could change this graphic here, what would you do?
I get rid of the hanger for one.
And I would maybe either replace the hanger, or maybe even I like the gift bag graphic somewhere, because to me that really represents like shopping.
Or have a
You don't want to get rid of the diversity either. So, I mean, I was going to move the photo down below where she's looking into rather than away from the graphic. That would have helped.
Okay, sorry, I can't find her.
You lost her.
Right, but basically,
Well, because the lady at the bottom, I don't know what purpose she's really serving. I mean, I think she's a beautiful lady.
right.
If there was going to be someone there that's doing photo shoots, maybe use her for that. But
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
It's a little more colorful.
Okay, so this also breaks the rule of our Z pattern. Okay, so see how if we look at this box in the Z pattern, this is in the wrong place.
Okay.
Because over here, You know, our eyes go from here to here to here to here. We don't stay here.
No,
You
I,
don't,
I ignored that box pretty much, yeah.
right. Well, your call to action is going to be, needs to, or your, if you got website information or an email or phone number or whatever it is, it needs to go down here. This graphic needs a lot of help.
I was gonna say, I don't even like the box around it. To me, it does nothing for me.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I mean, these little sprinkle things, those are really just in the way. They're more distractions. I would probably, I might even reverse these blocks. Like have this picture over here, this one over here. You have text over here and text down in the corner this way. Okay, let's do something else here. Well, now let me just go ahead and move on. Let me check our time. 2:45. Lord. Okay, so let's take a look at this one.
Wonderful. Well, I like how you put the graphic that's for your brand in the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's, I mean,
Oh, I like that too.
because it's gonna tie, I mean, when people start going to the VIP center and all your websites, that picture is very dominant in your branding. So I like how you did that.
Yep. What else?
I like it, but now I have the audacity at 2:45 to be overly critical. So now I like it, but I'm like, I wonder if she could find a graphic where the bags match somehow. Even if there was like a turquoise one or a purple one, but that's just, I'm being overly critical right now.
I don't know, because the red bag was bothering me in that lineup. I'm like, that red bag stands out too much. It doesn't fit the color scheme.
I go immediately to that graphic. I like that graphic. I'm a color person. That would really stand out to me.
Would it? Yeah. Is it the contrast that might even stand out to you?
Possibly.
Yeah. See, I will fully admit, I am someone who I literally don't see color the way that people do. Like, I drive my mom nuts because she'll be like, yeah, that's a blue shirt. I'm like, that's a green shirt. She's like, no, it's a blue shirt. Okay. So color for me is something that I recognize is very important to people. And I'm always having to ask people to check stuff.
That's not going to be exciting enough. So anyway, this actually is a well-formulated graphic, and it tells you what you need to know. Art and gift show featuring local entrepreneurs. Now remember, if you have an event graphic, you're going to have a little bit more information on it. So notice here I've got the dates, who we are, and our contact information. Now you can play around with this. You can change that graphic out. I was just trying to play around with this. What would you say on this graphic here?
What's the above one, the female, highlighting the local female entrepreneur. Yeah, art and gift show. Yeah. I think that's important. Because I feel like, especially with everything going on in the world, I feel like there's an appetite to support local businesses. So I think that's very important to know.
Point.
So here's an interesting thing. Who do you think this is for?
Vendors.
I don't know. I'm consignment shop, so
It also tells a story.
it's too busy. I mean, I don't like it. Gosh, my eyes are just.
For you, it's too busy. Now here's where we start to split out into personalities. For some, they're like, I like this because it does tell me a story. Some of us are more singularly focused, and we prefer something like that.
And I guess to me, I like that it actually says art and gift show, because I don't know. I'm probably extra just a little bit, but I feel like when things are art, I feel like there's like a mood that goes along with art and artists. And you
Yeah.
even have a picture of you with art. So I'm like, oh, art and clothes. Okay, I wonder if there's going to be wine there. I'm probably going to go.
There is going to be wine there.
So we just missed the wine.
Oh, she's signing up. Like my,
Not that I have a problem. Not that I have a problem. I'm just saying it just the vibe. There's just a vibe.
I think that's much better than, to me, it's like looking at that clothing, it was like secondhand shop to me. Don't ask me why, but that's what came to mind.
No, I get it, Catherine. It just didn't quite fit the art and gift
It did.
wording.
That's much better.
Eh,
It's funny. So this is why you create different messages, because they just appeal to different people.
okay, so when you're creating different messages and you're new at this, other than coming to you like as the expert and saying, how does this look? How do you start to have confidence in what you created?
Yeah.
Well, that's why you test it. You put it out there and you see who reacts to it and who doesn't. And if not a reaction, then you know that it hasn't quite grabbed the attention of who you need. So that means you need to switch that up.
Okay.
Okay, so what would you do differently with this one?
The background color doesn't match your branding colors.
Okay.
Good point.
The picture, I wonder, could you come up with a different picture?
I don't.
Because I get looking for vendors, but like what kind of vendors? 'Cause I see a shopping cart and I'm like, so for Kroger's or
Looking for, it's not specific enough.
Yeah, looking for vendors. So we would need to be more specific about what kind of vendors. Like,
Yeah.
and in this case, we're looking for female entrepreneurs and business owners who make products, gifts, anything that, you know, they can bring. They can be making edibles, you know, things that could even be direct sales.
Mhm.
If they sell products,
Why,
clothing.
why is she 5 feet off the ground?
Yeah. Like, wee.
That's the way they made her. Okay,
Great action shot.
so what should we do here? So we know that we're going to have part of the Shop VIP is we want to have local female artists displaying and selling their art. We will also be having an art exhibition and a silent auction.
oh.
So what might you say here?
What you just said.
You're right.
Local artists wanted for,
Yeah.
or no wait, not for, because that's a filler word.
Oh.
Or you can say our show Friday night.
Well, if we're looking for artists, we could simply say call for artists.
Mm-hmm. Call for local female artists, or with the females.
Yeah, what
I
happens
guess-
if you get a male vendor?
Yeah.
We tell them they can't do it. But so that's the whole thing is we want that the picture captures their attention and then they start reading. Okay, I'm interested in that. Let me find out more. Our mistake with marketing is thinking that they have to know everything on this graphic. This graphic is an appetizer.
Okay.
And because it is an appetizer, they're going to say, well, let me see, you know, wonder what kind of artist they are looking for, because I am an artist. And we do have a woman on here. So subconsciously, they're going to register. This is a female artist that we're seeing here. And you add that into your copy.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
I blame the school system for forcing us to use filler words because our papers had to be 500 words when really two enough.
And
This.
Adjectives were your best friend. It wasn't just a ball, it was a blue rubber bouncing ball.
Right. A very blue bouncing ball. All right. So I want to share with you very quickly some message angles. So when you're creating your messaging on your graphics, we're talking about on, not underneath, okay? But your message angles, it can be informational, which you saw that the graphic that I created for Shop VIP, it's pretty much informational. You know, you've got the dates, how to get in touch with us, really basic. But that's not the only graphic that you want to be able to put out. You also want to do one that has an emotional tug.
mhm.
So the emotional tug, when you first answered the question about what really stood out to you at the beginning of our call, I mean, I heard vacation. That's emotional because a lot of people, they're feeling stressed right now. They want to get away. And so an emotional tug statement might be, wouldn't you love to get away? Absolutely, I would love to get, let me find out how I can do that, right? It's emotional. Or you see somebody sitting on the beach, this could be you.
Mhm.
All right, third angle is a call to action. We see these commonly. As a matter of fact, they're almost too common. Shop now, get your seat, register today.
Limited tickets, going fast or whatever. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and so that sounds a little bit more markety, right? But and it is, there are times when it's appropriate that hey, shop now, because people, they tend to do what other people say. So it's better to say shop now versus would you like to shop now?
Ah. Yeah, right.
No, no, you're telling, hey, shop now, hit the button. And people are very spontaneous that way. They want to hit the button and go to the shopping. All right, and then more of a declarative statement. Shopping is fun. I love shopping. And then visibility. So we talked about visibility being more of your social media management, where you're just making sure that your name is out there and people are recognizing that you're still active. And so that could be, you could be posting a quote with a really nice background. You see people have gravitated towards a solid background and just words. Sometimes, and that, in my 52 weeks to calm, I try really hard to do those posts where it's just a solid color background, because people are really gravitating towards simplicity right now. I want to show you an example of one of my highest ranking graphics in the last few weeks. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Here it is.
Wow.
I put this out a few weeks ago when we were looking for Lucy's position and for event coordinator. And I cannot tell you how many applications on Facebook job market that I got. I got so many inquiries. I never even got through them all.
Wow.
Imagine.
Congratulations, Lucy.
Thank you. I feel so special right now.
You didn't say males do not apply, did you?
Well, when they read when everybody sees the VIP Center for Business Women, we've already started to create a brand in the last year that they know.
Okay.
They know that we're a center for business women. That was part of my branding work and messaging that I did in the first part of the year.
So Cart is your only male employee.
Yes, and I will not let go of Cart. He will be forever.
Very good.
Okay, so some questions to ask yourself if you got a campaign.
Uh-huh.
Think about, okay, so what type of graphic do you want to create? Do you want to do something for an event, or do you want to do something to just create visibility? So those are basically the two that you want to put out.
Uh-huh.
Question to ask is, how do you want people to feel when they see your graphic?
Okay.
You want them to feel something like, I want that too, or wow, I can really relate to that. Oh, that sounds exciting. So think about the emotion that you want them to feel. Because if you want them to be excited, you don't want to put a super soft graphic where someone is pondering out the window like they need clarity, right? If you want them to be excited, you want people to have smiles on their faces, you want the colors to pop, you want to evoke that emotion. And then the third thing to ask yourself is, what is your goal? What do you want people to do? Do you want them to sign up? Do you want them to fill out your link? And it's important to just keep that in mind. So when you've created your graphic and your messaging, go back and say, is this going to accomplish my goal? Is this going to cut, are people going to look at this and they're going to think, oh, this is so cute. And then they scroll on, or they're going to say, yeah, this is relevant to me. I'm going to click this button because I want to become a vendor for Shop VIP. All right, and I have some space down here for you to write some graphic copy for, for an event. What I recommend is that you take the same event or a workshop or whatever, the same thing that you're trying to accomplish, and run it through all of these different angles. Create the copy and then select the graphic. All right, what questions do you have?
I'm sorry, I have to jump off, but I wish everybody a great week and rest of the week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you, Ange.
You are welcome. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you.
No? All right. All right, ladies, have a great weekend. We do have an implementation call on Monday if you want to follow up on this, okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.